Lagos is the former capital city of Nigeria. It is constituted of an assembly of several islands on the Lagos Lagoon, linked to a second part of the continent, to form one unique city. This expansion is due to the incredible pace of population growth over Lagos and Nigeria. Today it counts 22 million inhabitants, which grows by 77 new citizens per hour. At this pace, Nigeria will be more populated than the USA by 2040, for a space that is 10 times smaller. Lagos itself would become the world's most populated city by century's end. As the city turns into a global one, let's see how such evolution massively increased inequalities between all Lagosians. Welcome to the slum of Makoko, the Lagosian Venice. It is the world's largest floating slum with an area of 186 square miles, regrouping 6 different villages: Okoagbon, Adogbo, Migbewe and Nyanshiwe on water, Sogunru and Apollo on the mainland. It is situated on the side of the third mainland bridge, a 9 miles long bridge that links the business center to the mainland. Being the most used bridge of the entire West Africa, it perfectly exposes the two faces of Lagos to the eyes of the whole world, despite of Nigeria's effort to hide one of them. It also finds itself to be the only bridge linking the airport of Lagos to downtown, so every person flying into the city will spend his first Nigerian minutes on the bridge with the view. The slum was first created in the 19th century by a group of Beninese fishermen eager to build a village on the coast. With this village, they expected to benefit from the huge amount of fishing spaces offered in Makoko. It quickly evolved into a slum for the poorest inhabitants of the city, before even spreading on the water because of the lack of space. Back in 1990, Makoko was entirely destroyed by the Nigerian authorities, which left its 300,000 inhabitants completely homeless and without any relocation plan. Another action of such was implemented in 2005 to stop the spreading of the slum towards the third mainland bridge, and yet again in 2012, when the houses of 30,000 Lagosians were burnt. Being an illegal slum, the government owns the right to evict the inhabitants from their housing. However, the ends surely don't justify the means. In a city infested by gangs, African terrorist groups such as Boko Haram, and Mafia itself, safety is an unknown concept, and the government protection is totally unguaranteed. Makoko has now become a city of itself, with floating schools, floating churches, floating markets, and floating shops. It also contributed to the creation of an underground economy, in which all inhabitants possessing a boat can earn incomes as a floating taxi. It even developed its own language, the Yoruba. It is a mix of French, English, and Igun, which is the old Beninese dialect. However, it still welcomes an estimation of 100,000 to 300,000 citizens. Hard to know. In a polluted places without hospitals or any type of healthcare. Surprisingly, there has never been observed any case of communicable disease such as Ebola or cholera. Only non-communicable ones like malaria or malnutrition. Indeed, nutrition stays a big problem in Makoko. Proud of its roots, the main activity within the slum is fishing. But let's pause a second and imagine the nutritional quality of fishes, living not only in the 6th most polluted city in the world, but also in the world's biggest floating slums, with no garbage disposal facilities. Crazy to think there has never been any epidemic case inside of Makoko. As of its future, Makoko is faced to 2 massive issues, which both seems to be unstoppable. The slum is expected to either entirely sink in the water and disappear, or to be entirely demolished as a project of evolution from Lagos. In fact, one of such is currently happening a few miles and $1 million income away from Makoko. The Eco Atlantic City project was first launched in 2007 by the state of Lagos, with main purpose to build a cultural, touristic and business hub on an artificial island. It wants to be seen as the African version of Dubai. In fact, the word Eko is the Yoruban word for Lagos, a Nigerian dialect. It is also designed to stop the erosion on the coastline that is endangering the houses and residents of certain islands. The city will be erected on an island of about 4 miles long and 0.6 miles wide. It will be crossed by a highway that relates each part of the island to the mainland with an entrance toll. It is supposed to welcome about 250,000 new inhabitants and offer about 150,000 new jobs. Obviously, those won't be affordable by much of the population, in a city where 7 people out of 10 live under $1 a day. Self-sufficient and sustainable, it includes urban design, its own power generation, clean water, advanced telecommunications, spacious roads, and tree-lined streets. Basically, things that Lagos don't have anywhere else. The island will be separated into 10 districts, built over an entire project of 6 phases. As of right now, all bridges of phases 1 and 2 have been completed, as well as some of the skyscrapers from the business district, downtown, Eco Drive, and the first area of Avenue District and Oceanfront. Phases 3 to 6 will see the completion of the other districts. Some of them, such as Marina, Avenues, Oceanfront, and the Grand Canal District, are so big they are themselves separated into areas. Avenue and Oceanfront will count 3 of those. Marina and Grand Canal will count 4. Electric cables, fiber optic telecoms, and clean water utility services are already installed below street level. The entire island will be protected by a wave deflector wall, also known as the Great Wall of Lagos, supposedly fit to withstand and endure the most severe weather conditions over the next 1,000 years. As it can be expected, the project is now welcomed with open arms by every Lagosian and Nigerian you could meet. Residents living nearby have complained that the ongoing construction have caused coastal erosions and ocean surges, leading to massive floods and loss of power in the whole state. In 2012, 16 people were swept by an unexpected wave that reached the mainland and flooded multiple parts of the business center on Victoria Island. It is not mentioned anywhere how many of Makoko's inhabitants suffered from the natural disasters, but we can only imagine the high numbers this would be considering their geographic positions. Lagos surely is a global city opening itself to the world, with the will of being seen as one of the top of the list, alongside Dubai. Despite of not being Nigeria's capital city, it definitely is Africa's capital city, probably its most precious gate to the outside world. But this massive evolution contrasts with a terrible poverty rate that the government does its best to ignore. Lagos's goals do not quite match with its current population situation, and it might not get any better soon.